Hong Kong today with the sprint at Sha Tin. Miss Andretti was representing Australia, but today was not to be her day. She was a big drifter in the market and never settled early on. Let's see a mighty performance, though, by Sacred Kingdom.
Tremendous roar, away they go. Green Birdie's taken straight back to last. And deep out, Miss Andretti's ridden for speed. So is YB. Sunny Singh, Ben Bourne near the inside, and Royal Delight's going for. There's plenty of speed. And Shane Dye takes Royal Delight to the front of the first corner. YB circling the field, going to second. Sunny Singh third, Ben Bourne fourth, and Miss Andretti's right with them with Desert Lord. Absolute Champion parks off the speed. Then Scintillation, Sacred Kingdom. He's got horses on his outside. Sunny Power and Teaser improving. Then Marchand Door and Green Birdie is last, racing to the bend. It's Royal Delight in front from Ben Bourne. Desert Lord's out 3 wide. Miss Andretti's 4 wide, and 5 wide is YB. Sunny Singh behind them. Sacred Kingdom's giving away 4 lengths. It's Royal Delight in front. Absolute Champions coming hard. Now Sacred Kingdom's into the clear. Miss Andretti can't go with them. Sacred Kingdom charges up on the outside. He hits the lead from Royal Delight. Absolute Champion staying on doggedly, but Sacred Kingdom, he is world class. Sacred Kingdom's roaring away to beat Absolute Champion. Royal Delight third, Sunny Power fourth, and Scintillation. Marchand Doors run with credit. Then Green...
Absolute Champion looked as though he was going to come through and maybe challenge and take his title, the race that he won last year, but here's a real champion. Sacred Kingdom picking it up, flying by and running away. An absolute supreme performance by Sacred Kingdom, living up to all the hype. Miss Andretti wasn't to be her day, really reefed and pulled far too hard in the early stages, going around this way for the first time. 319, Sacred Kingdom, $2 and $1.20. A mighty performance there. We're also going to move on now and have a look at the Hong Kong Vase. We had a long odds-on favourite again, like Sacred Kingdom. It was the ARC winner, Dylan Thomas, but it wasn't to be for Dylan Thomas. Got too far back under Johnny Murtagh, and a great performance here by the globe-trotting Dr. Dino.
Shaken up. Then Dr. Dino from Everbright, Cajano. Murtagh's but well back in the field here on the short price favourite Dylan Thomas, but staying to the fence for the moment. And Arch Rebel is last as they start to quicken the tempo. Coming to the turn, it's McLeyer in front from Bassoni, getting closer, and Red Rocks the outside. Then Viva Macau from Co-Cab. Vital Kings placed under some pressure from Hawke's Bay Egerton. Everbright's pulling to the outside together with Cajano, and Dylan Thomas gives them a big start as they're well into the straight. And Christophe Sumion takes Bassoni clear from Red Rocks. Egerton's running on. Then Dr. Dino and Cajano the outside. Bassini leads inside the 150, but Dr. Dino's coming hard. Dr. Dino raced up to Bassoni. Cajano the outside, but Dr. Dino's coming away for Pellier. Dr. Dino from Cajano and Bassoni. Arch Rebel fourth, followed in by Co-Cab Egerton. Dylan Thomas couldn't pick them up. Then Everbright from Red Rocks, Hawke's Bay.
Yeah, it was a great performance. He goes all over the world, Dr. Dino, and he's done it again here. Dylan Thomas got too far back. He actually got nailed by Dr. Dino at the 400-metre mark, but Dr. Dino was too good for them. 1070 and 220, 4, 2 and 5 on the Hong Kong Vase. Okay, that's...
Cathay Pacific Hong Kong Cup. Final of 4 international Group 1s. Ramonti, Frankie Dettori and Saeed bin Surur, Gate 4. Vengeance of Rain, the champion for David Ferraris and Anthony Del Pesce, Gate 7. Viva Pataka, the champion for John Moore and Mick Kinane, Gate 3. Katsuharu Tanaka rides Shadowgate from Japan. Art Trader, Barrier 1, Darren Beedman. Royal Prince has drawn Barrier 6 for Brett Preble, and the French mare, Ronan Thomas, Musical Way to jump from barrier number 5. I can tell you at the moment the market Viva Pataka is at 1.1. Almost unbackable at the moment. 7 points. He's a definite chance, I would have thought, of going forward.
First time up to the trip, that's the query, but I think his work leading up to that has been exceptional, and he's a horse that can go forward and I think run a big race. Royal Prince.
Favourite so short in the history of international racing here in Hong Kong. We've got a 1.1 red hot favourite, and it's the horse on screen, Mark and Jenny, Viva Pataka.
Yes, well, you can see he's getting a little bit agitated here with this big crowd. He's definitely got a lot fitter, this horse. I thought he absolutely needed the run last time. Well, he won easily. Tougher assignment here today, but he is fitter. He looks really well in his coat. He's just a little bit on his toe, but he looks well.
I think he's a logical selection, and behind Viva Pataka last time out. 10-1 about Vengeance of Rain. Look, to me, that just seems a silly price about a horse that's got the quality to win this race. Pace on or no pace, he's still going to be a horse that's, I think, right in the finish. And he's just a fantastic racehorse who's won all over the world and proven at this level.
Well, and he looks fit.
He looks fantastic, Vengeance of Rain, and you are getting a great price about him. 10-1. Let's move on to Ramonti. Well, Frankie Dettori went very close as you can go in the International Mile. This fellow was seen here last year. He ran third in that very race. Since then, he's been a triple Group 1 winner in Europe. How does he look, Mark?
I don't think he could look any better than he does. This horse looks to be the ultimate professional to me. He's walked into the paddock. He was as cool as cool.
So Ramonti, he certainly does look attractive each way odds at the moment. Some of the world markets will be nothing like the ones are here in Hong Kong. Shadow Gate is the next one along, the Japanese entrant. Needs to step up a level, doesn't he, on what we've seen from his overseas form. I think the run in Singapore on a wet track, that was the key. A lot of his better form is on that surface. He's not getting that today, and since
Dr. Dino, and that's going to be the big query too about Royal Prince. When he first arrived here in Hong Kong, he looked anything when he won 2 Class 1s very impressively. He's taken a little bit longer this time to come to hand, but he's had 2 runs now and a couple of trials, and he's in the market today in some little rough chance.
You can see the discoloration on his front left joint, suggesting that things aren't all plain sailing with this horse. He's quite a big, heavy-topped individual, but I have to say he does take the eye today. He looks particularly well in himself
now.
And I think in weeks prior to that, it was the other way around.
It was. And anyway, the last one we'll take a look at here, Musical Way. On the face of it, this one has plenty to live up to, but another one that's an unbelievable price.
Well, yes, she is, but she did finish a long way behind Pride last year when she came over. A horse that looks pretty well in her coat, actually, and she's nice and relaxed. 2 handlers on her, but doesn't really need it at this stage. She's a very fit horse going into this, but there's a few others that sort of grab my attention more so than her.
Jenny, the Cathay Pacific Hong Kong Cup, race 8. Runners are about to head out onto the track. Well, Alan Hatzaken from the South China Morning Post is about to join us here. Alan, what a...
Parker won with such authority in the lead-up trial. Darren Beedman was simply toying with them there, and the record that Mick Cannan has had on Viva Pataka in the group races here so far speaks for itself. But I went Ramonti over Viva Pataka, and Vengeance of Rain, clearly the 3rd pick. And looking for the 4th best, well, I've gone with number 6, Royal Prince. I anticipated he would have been a lot longer in the betting than this, but Tony Cruz has a tremendous following. He's been talking it up in the press, and he may well be the leader of the race, so here, Royal Prince. But I do like Ramonti to win the Cup over Viva Pataka, Vengeance of Rain and Royal Prince.
All right, Darren, 1, 3, 2, 6 from the paddock. Jenny and Mark went 1, 3, 2 and 6. Look, I went with Viva Pataka to beat Ramonti, Vengeance of Rain, and I agree. I think Royal Prince is probably the other one to get into the top 4. Clint?
Yeah, look, I think all things being equal, Viva Pataka will be winning, but as Alan just pointed out, in these smaller fields, you never know. I put in Royal Prince. I think he's a genuine chance if they go forward on him, which I expect to be the case. I agree with also what Alan said about Ramonti, a slight query over the trip. I'm not convinced that he'll get it strongly either. I'm not saying that he can't figure, but there is that little query in the back of my mind. But Vengeance of Rain at 8.5, it's a silly price at the moment. I think if you're going to have a bet in the race,
plenty of them, but I don't think you'll go in for Sacred Kingdom from absolute holiday. Watching the race live.
Monty at just under 4-1, and Vengeance of Rain at 9-1. They've loaded pretty quickly for the Cathay Pacific Hong Kong Cup. And the last to come in is Royal Prince from the Tony Cruz yard, being handled by Brett Preble. It'll be a very intriguing race to the first turn, and they're all set, racing in the Cup. And a good line out of the gates, and getting the best of the start was Shadow Gate. He's going to lead initially. Ramonti's out well, and so is Royal Prince on the outside. Del Pescia's snagging Vengeance of Rain back to last. It's Shadow Gate leading out of the straight from Royal Prince, is looking to head him off. Ramonti in 3rd, and Dettori keeps him away from the fence in the early part. Viva Pataka's gone to the rails. Shadow Gate the outside. Music Away the outside. Then Vengeance of Rain and Art Trader is last. Royal Prince didn't handle that turn particularly well, but Preble's been able to balance him up now and get him down to the fence. It's Royal Prince leading to the back by a length on Shadow Gate. Ramonti's travelling keen in third. Music Away fourth. Viva Bataka snatched up in a pocket but travels well for Canaan in fifth. Two further back to Vengeance of Rain, and Art Trader is last. So it's one of the long hopes for Hong Kong. It's Royal Prince at his first try in open company, leading out by 2 lengths to Shadow Gate. Two further back to Ramonti, who still travels hard on the steel. Music Away fourth around Viva Bataka. 2 off to Vengeance of Rain, and Art Trader is last. 27.6 was the lead section, 24.8, and it's Royal Prince making the running in the Hong Kong Cup by a length and a half to Shadow Gate. Ramonti just coming off the heels in third position. Viva Bataka gets closer in fourth. Then Music Away the outside, a length and a half to Art Trader, and Vengeance of Rain sees them all as they race to the final bend, and Shadowgate applies pressure now to Royal Prince before the bend. Ramonti's tracking up behind Shadowgate into third. Viva Bataka quietly ridden, now Canaan just starts to feel for him in fourth. Then Music Away, Vengeance of Rain shaken up, and Art Trader's last as they turn into the straight, and Shadowgate races to the lead, but Ramonti's giving chase, and Viva Bataka's going between runners. Vengeance of Rain gives away an impossible start as Dottori takes Ramonti to the front. Viva Bataka's asked to go after him. Ramonti cuts back to the fence. Viva Bataka, he's trying to cut him back. It's Ramonti in front. Viva Bataka gets within a half, but Dottori won't let Ramonti stop, and Ramonti wins the cup from again Viva Bataka. Music Away ran third. Then Art Trader, Shadowgate, Vengeance of Rain, and Royal Prince was the last one to finish. It's another cup for Godolphin. Fantastic light at the start of the millennium, and Frankie Dettori and Godolphin have taken out the Cup of 2007, defeating Viva Bataka. Music Away third. Art Trader has run fourth. Europe's champion miler stepping up to the 2,000 metres today on foreign turf. He was in a very handy position. He travelled strong as he can do, but Dettori was able to track the right horse into the race on the bend when Shadowgate declared Royal Prince on. Ramonti got the toe into it. Viva Bataka came off the fence to go between Ramonti and the tiring Shadowgate at that point. But Ramonti showed the great acceleration to put the race in the bag at the 300 metres. He went back down to the fence sharply over the last 100 metres. He gave Viva Bataka the opportunity to pick up the ground. He's been game in defeat. A half to 3 parts of a length the margin at the post. They've run the time of 2:2.8. which is a half second outside of standard for the Hong Kong Cup. A half second slower than standard. A half length the winning margin, with 2.5 back to third. Well, he certainly added a lot of quality to this program today, Ramonti. That's his 12th win from 19 starts. And, well, he has really excited the crowd here today. 1, 3 and 7. The race of the early tactics was Shadowgate coming out. Royal Prince, he didn't seem to handle the first turn particularly well, Royal Prince, but Ramonti immediately up into third. Viva Bataka on the inside of runners. Music Away as they turn out of the straight. Then Art Trader and Vengeance of Rain only having his second run back this preparation, settling there in a rearward position at the moment. Royal Prince was hanging out badly, but Preble steadied him back, and approaching the home turn, Shadowgate declared him on, racing to the bend, and momentarily hits the lead as Ramonti at the moment is just about to be called upon by Dettori. Viva Bataka just being reined up now to keep tabs with him. Clear of Music Away. Vengeance of Rain just couldn't do it here today, but down to the business end of the section, and Shadowgate's quickly coming back to Ramonti. Great acceleration at that point. He's been able to turn a length and a half deficit to a 2-length lead. Dettori looks around. He can see that Viva Bataka, he knows how game he is. He's really starting to pull in the margin at this point, Viva Bataka, but Dettori refusing to allow Ramonti to stop, and he has kicked on to take out the Hong Kong Cup. Now, we've just been advised there is an inquiry. The stewards have posted the inquiry sign on the board in the Cup. Stand by for further news. But one
course aboard Krakador, and just holding Viva Bataka at bay in the Hong Kong Cup, the Cathay Pacific Hong Kong Cup. We've seen this footage quite a few times, and it's great to see two world-class riders in Frankie Dettori and Canaan riding out their respective mounts in the concluding stages. Victory this time around went to Godolphin, went to Frankie Dettori and Syed bin Saror, and congratulations to the UAE.
Time for the presentation following the Cathay Pacific Hong Kong Cup.
The trophy presentation, the Cathay Pacific Hong Kong Cup, will now commence.
我都明白大家嘅心情嘅。